I was just very attracted to that this man was interested in me and didn't seem at the time to be interested in anything but me. And I was just kind of swept away a little bit, I guess.
Country music has always given us heroes, voices that carried our heartbreak and our hope. But behind the stage lights, many legends lived lives riddled with secrets, scandals, and reckless desires. Some of the most shocking whispers centered on their addictions to love, obsessions, and affairs that went far beyond the music. These weren't just rumors. They were the dirty truths that fans were never meant to hear. Prepare to be shocked as we uncover 21 of the wildest love addicts in old country music history. From secret obsessions to scandalous affairs, this is the side of country music you were never supposed to hear. Let's start with Tammy Wynette. Tammy Wynette, the first lady of country music, sang of heartbreak with such conviction that fans believed she had lived through every word. Wynette's romantic life was a roller coaster of devotion and destruction, filled with tumultuous marriages, broken promises, and love affairs that kept Nashville whispering. Married 5 times, her most infamous union was with George Jones, a pairing of passion and poison that defined her career as much as her songs. Their marriage was a storm of violent arguments, reconciliations, and public meltdowns that bordered on theater. Offstage, Wynette's search for love often led her into the arms of men who betrayed her or used her fame for their gain. But Tammy herself was no stranger to scandal. Behind the curtain, she pursued men with a restless hunger for affection, filling the loneliness that haunted her between tours and recording sessions. Rumors swirled about affairs, about secret lovers who drifted in and out of her life. Fans who clung to her image as the eternal victim of heartbreak never saw the side of Tammy that was reckless in romance, driven by an insatiable need to be wanted. Her voice made her immortal, but her personal life revealed a woman addicted not just to love, but to the chaos it often brought. Even as her legacy remains untouchable in music, Tammy Wynette's desperate pursuit of love remains one of country's most haunting sagas. Up next, we have Dolly Parton.
But still you go right on bluffing.
Dolly Parton is celebrated for her dazzling talent and her unmatched songwriting, but behind her radiant smile lies a history of rumors about a personal life that was far more complicated than fans ever imagined. Married to Carl Dean since 1966, Dolly has often joked about their unconventional relationship. Yet, whispers of affairs have followed her throughout her career, with tabloid stories painting her as a woman whose hunger for affection stretched far beyond her marriage. One of the longest-standing rumors involved her supposed fling with Porter Wagoner, her on-stage partner in the late 1960s and early 70s. Their chemistry was undeniable, and though both denied a romantic involvement, insiders hinted that the tension between them was more than professional. Others whispered of affairs with fellow musicians and business partners, stories Dolly never confirmed but also never fully denied. Her openness about having a tremendous appetite for love fueled speculation that Dolly's life offstage was as colorful and daring as her music. Despite the whispers, Dolly skillfully maintained her public image. She turned the gossip into part of her charm, presenting herself as both a faithful wife and a woman unafraid to laugh about the rumors that swirled around her. Still, behind the jokes and glitzy persona was a woman who lived her life by her own rules, no matter what Nashville thought. Her legacy as a trailblazer in country music is unquestionable. Dolly Parton may have been the subject of endless speculation, but her enduring brilliance proves that even in scandal, she remained untouchable. Coming up next is Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn, the coal miner's daughter, built her career by singing the truth about women's lives, songs about cheating husbands, unwanted pregnancies, and hard marriages. But while she sang as an advocate for women, her own marriage to Oliver Doolittle Lynn was marked by turbulence, betrayal, and passion that often spilled into chaos. Doolittle's infidelities were legendary, but Loretta herself was not immune to rumors of her own dalliances. Whispers in Nashville suggested that Loretta sought comfort in other men during her troubled marriage, often with fellow musicians who understood the pressures of the road. Her fiery temper and blunt honesty made her a magnet for both admiration and controversy. Some claimed she carried on affairs discreetly, while others believed her song lyrics offered coded confessions of her own indiscretions. Loretta never directly admitted to stepping outside her marriage, but she was candid about her desperate desire for love and validation, a hunger that went unfulfilled at home. Her songs immortalized the struggles of countless women, but they also reflected her own. Whether rumor or truth, Loretta's romantic entanglements painted a picture of a woman as complicated as the world she sang about. Even with all the chaos, Loretta Lynn remains a pillar of authenticity. Her music, an unflinching mirror of life, love, and betrayal. Following that, we have Patsy Cline.
I love you, I'm always walking.
Patsy Cline's voice defined an era, haunting, soulful, and dripping with longing. But behind the microphone was a woman who lived a personal life that was anything but calm. Married twice, Patsy was known for her fiery personality and her attraction to dangerous romances. Friends and fellow musicians whispered about affairs that trailed her across the country, claiming she carried on with men who were already married, as well as industry insiders who were captivated by her magnetic charm. Her second marriage to Charlie Dick was passionate but volatile, with arguments that sometimes turned violent. Patsy, however, refused to play the victim. Instead, she matched Charlie's temper with her own, while quietly seeking solace in the arms of others. Some biographers claim that Patsy's restlessness in love was rooted in her fear of abandonment, while others point to her determination to live life on her own terms, even if it meant breaking hearts along the way. What made her story more compelling was the way she wove this turbulence into her songs. When she sang of unfaithful men, she wasn't just reciting words. She was channeling a reality she knew all too well. Though her life was tragically cut short at just 30 years old, the stories of her scandalous affairs live on as part of the mystique of her legend. Patsy Cline may have been reckless in love, but her artistry turned that recklessness into eternal beauty. Next on the list is June Carter Cash. June Carter Cash is remembered as the loyal wife who stood by Johnny Cash through his darkest battles with addiction. But before her fairy tale romance with the man in black, June's love life was far from simple. Married twice before Johnny, June had a reputation for her restless heart and her ability to draw men in with her wit, charm, and beauty. Her first marriage to Carl Smith, another country singer, ended in divorce amid whispers of infidelity on both sides. June's second marriage to Edwin Nix also collapsed under the weight of jealousy and suspicion. Even during her early years performing with the Carter family, gossip circulated about June's flings with fellow musicians, men who couldn't resist her energy and quick wit. By the time she fell for Johnny Cash, she was already well practiced in the complicated dance between passion and destruction. While her relationship with Johnny became the stuff of legend, many forget that it began while he was still married to his first wife, Vivian. Their affair was an open secret in Nashville, a scandal that could have ruined her reputation. Yet June leaned into it, choosing passion over propriety. Together, they created one of the most enduring partnerships in country history, though it was born in betrayal. June Carter Cash may be remembered as Johnny's saving grace, but her own past reveals a woman addicted to love and unafraid to risk everything for it. Now let's turn to Kitty Wells.
When you call me on the phone.
Kitty Wells, often called the Queen of Country Music, projected an image of purity and respectability, especially with her groundbreaking hit, It Wasn't God Who Made Honky-Tonk Angels. Yet behind the conservative persona, whispers followed her throughout her long career. Married to fellow musician Johnny Wright, Kitty lived a relatively scandal-free public life, but Nashville insiders claimed that her private affairs were far more daring than her image suggested. Rumors suggested that Kitty carried on quiet romances with touring musicians, men who filled the loneliness of long stretches away from home. Some alleged she enjoyed secret trysts while on the road, carefully concealed to protect her career. Though never confirmed, the persistence of these rumors pointed to a woman who, despite her strict public persona, craved the excitement and attention that came with forbidden romance. Her pioneering success gave her an untouchable reputation, But the contradiction between her prim image and the whispers of her private desires only fueled her mystique. While Kitty Wells may not have been as openly scandalous as some of her peers, her name still floated through Nashville's gossip circles as a woman who quietly indulged her cravings for love beyond her marriage. Kitty Wells left behind a legacy of groundbreaking music, but she also carried the shadow of secrets that kept her legend alive in more ways than one. Moving along, Barbara Mandrell. Barbara Mandrell was America's sweetheart in the 1970s and 1980s with a wholesome image that made her a favorite on both radio and television. But behind the smile and the family-friendly persona was a woman whose love life was far more complicated than her fans realized. Married to Ken Dudney since 1967, Barbara faced years of speculation about affairs and secret romances that clashed with her clean-cut reputation. Industry insiders whispered about Barbara's relationships with fellow musicians, noting her flirtatious nature and the chemistry she often shared with her male co-stars. Some claimed that her long absences from home during tours created strain in her marriage, opening the door to temptation. Though Barbara denied these rumors, the persistence of the gossip suggested that her personal life was not as pristine as her television image implied. What made her story more scandalous was the sharp contrast between the public image and the private whispers. Fans who adored her as a role model of faith and family were shocked by the rumors, while Nashville insiders simply nodded knowingly, saying Barbara was no different from the rest. Barbara Mandrell may have faced her share of whispers, but her legacy as a performer who broke barriers for women in country music remains untarnished. Continuing on, Tanya Tucker. Tanya Tucker exploded onto the scene as a teenager in the 1970s, her voice raw and mature beyond her years. But as her career soared, so too did her appetite for scandal. Tanya became infamous for her whirlwind romances, most notably her affair with Glenn Campbell. Their relationship was marked by public fights, drug-fueled arguments, and a toxic passion that made headlines almost daily. Fans who adored her music were stunned by her reckless love life, which seemed to unravel in full view of the press. But Glenn Campbell wasn't the only man in Tanya's orbit. Throughout her life, she was linked to a string of musicians, actors, and industry insiders. Some of these flings burned fast and bright, while others left scars that lasted years. Tanya herself admitted to being drawn to chaos, describing her relationships as addictive cycles of highs and devastating lows. Her wild reputation followed her relentlessly, overshadowing her music at times and making her a fixture of tabloid gossip. Still, Tanya Tucker never apologized for who she was. She embraced her reputation as a love addict, living her life with the same fiery intensity that defined her music. And through it all, she proved that even scandal couldn't dim the brilliance of her talent. Another name you need to hear, Reba McEntire.
I kept from going out of my mind.
Reba McEntire built her empire on talent, discipline, and relentless determination. But even Reba wasn't immune to the whispers of romance gone wrong. Married twice, her relationships were often the subject of gossip in Nashville, particularly her second marriage to Narvel Blackstock. While the pair projected an image of unity, insiders claimed their relationship began as an affair during Reba's first marriage to Charlie Battles. This fueled speculation that Reba's hunger for passion sometimes outweighed her loyalty. Rumors of other dalliances followed her over the years, though none ever overshadowed her career. Some insiders suggested she was discreetly involved with fellow musicians or industry executives, using her charm to navigate the male-dominated world of country music. Whether true or exaggerated, the stories painted Reba as a woman who wasn't afraid to take what she wanted, on stage or in love. Her divorce from Blackstock decades later reopened old wounds and fueled new gossip. Fans were reminded that even the strongest women of country carried private burdens of heartbreak and betrayal. Yet through every scandal, Reba stood tall, turning her pain into powerhouse performances that cemented her as a legend. Reba McEntire's romances may have been complicated, but her resilience made her a true queen of country. Now, let's turn to Crystal Gayle.
Has she heard like me that slamming door?
With her floor-length hair and silky voice, Crystal Gayle presented an image of elegance and calm. But beneath that polished exterior was a woman whose personal life often mirrored the emotional turmoil of her music. Married young to Bill Gatzamos, Crystal's long-term marriage seemed to shield her from scandal. Yet whispers persisted that she sought love elsewhere, engaging in discreet affairs with industry figures who admired both her beauty and her talent. Nashville insiders speculated that the pressures of following in Loretta Lynn's footsteps weighed heavily on her, leading her to seek validation in forbidden romances. While she never flaunted her love life publicly, the quiet nature of her alleged affairs only made them more enticing to gossip circles. Her tendency to disappear from the spotlight for stretches of time only fueled the speculation that she was living a life much wilder than her public image suggested. Though her personal affairs remained clouded in rumor, Crystal's artistry left an undeniable mark on country music. Her lush ballads carried the weight of someone who knew heartbreak intimately, whether through rumor or reality. Following that, we have Lorrie Morgan.
You want me to forget.
Few country stars embrace the spotlight of scandal as boldly as Lorrie Morgan. Married 6 times, with a long list of high-profile romances in between, she became known as much for her love life as for her music. Her relationships ranged from country icons like Keith Whitley to Hollywood actors, and each seemed to carry its own drama. Lorrie herself admitted to falling in love quickly and passionately, often without caution. Her marriage to Keith Whitley was both her most beloved and her most tragic. After his untimely death, Lorrie's search for love intensified, leading to a string of marriages that ended in heartbreak and divorce. Rumors swirled of affairs between marriages, with Nashville buzzing about her fiery temper and restless heart. Some called her reckless, others pitied her inability to find lasting happiness. But Lorrie never shied away from the truth. She spoke candidly about her need for love and her refusal to live life cautiously. That openness only fueled her reputation as one of country's most notorious love addicts, a woman who chased passion at all costs. Despite the scandals, Lorrie Morgan's music remains cherished, a reminder that even in chaos, beauty can thrive. Next on the list is Barbara Fairchild.
Help me reach this stranger.
Barbara Fairchild rose to fame in the 1970s with her hit The Teddy Bear Song, but her sweet image belied a much more complicated personal life. Married multiple times, Barbara's love life was often as dramatic as the lyrics she sang. Insiders whispered of affairs with fellow musicians and industry figures, suggesting that Barbara's yearning for affection often led her into complicated and scandalous romances. Her first marriage ended amid rumors of betrayal, while her subsequent relationships were marked by instability and heartbreak. Though she wasn't as heavily scrutinized as some of her peers, those close to her described her as a woman who wore her heart on her sleeve, falling fast and often regretting it later. The gossip surrounding her love life made her a quiet but steady figure in Nashville's rumor mills. Though Barbara never reached the superstardom of Dolly or Tammy, her story reflects the same struggle many country women faced, balancing fame with a restless heart that was never satisfied. Her legacy lies not only in her music, but also in her unapologetic pursuit of love, no matter the cost. Up next, we have Dottie West. Dottie West was beloved for her warm voice and generous spirit, but her personal life told a much stormier tale. Married 3 times, Dottie's relationships were often marked by financial strain, betrayal, and scandal. Her marriage to Byron Metcalf ended in whispers of infidelity, while her subsequent marriage to fellow musician Bill West brought more turbulence than stability. What made Dottie's story particularly salacious were the rumors of her affairs with powerful men in the music industry. Insiders claimed she used these relationships to navigate her career, though others argued she was simply a woman searching for affection in a cutthroat world. As her financial troubles mounted in later years, so too did the gossip, with many speculating that her personal life played a role in her downfall. Yet Dottie's resilience never faded. Even as her life unraveled, she remained a beloved figure, her generosity and warmth remembered by all who knew her. Her romantic scandals may have haunted her, but her voice and spirit left a mark that outshone the whispers. Coming up next is Jean Shepard.
Second fiddle to an old guitar.
Jean Shepard's career spanned decades, making her one of country's most enduring voices. But behind the music was a woman whose personal life was rife with turmoil. Married twice, Jean's relationships were complicated by rumors of affairs and intense jealousy. Her first marriage to fellow musician Hawkshaw Hawkins ended tragically when he died in the plane crash that also claimed Patsy Cline. But even before his death, Nashville insiders whispered of infidelities on both sides. In her later years, Jean was rumored to have carried on romances with younger men, earning her a reputation as someone who defied the norms of her time. While some criticized her for it, others admired her refusal to let age define her desires. Her boldness made her both admired and envied in the industry, a woman who lived unapologetically in pursuit of love. Though gossip followed her to the end, Jean Shepard's contributions to country music secured her place in history. Her legacy proves that even those branded as scandalous can leave behind something beautiful. Following that, we have Connie Smith.
Taking all the pains away.
Connie Smith's angelic voice earned her a reputation as one of the purest vocalists in country music. But behind her wholesome image lay a much stormier love life. Married multiple times, Connie's relationships were often clouded in secrecy and scandal. Her first marriage fell apart under the strain of her career, with whispers of infidelity on both sides. Subsequent marriages brought little stability, with rumors suggesting Connie engaged in affairs with fellow musicians. Her long relationship with fellow country star Marty Stewart was particularly controversial, as the two carried on a romance long before they married officially. Their significant age difference only added to the scandal, though over time their love story softened into one of country's most enduring partnerships. Still, the early years of their relationship were marked by whispers of impropriety and betrayal. Connie Smith's music remains a testament to her talent, but her personal life reveals the same hunger for love that consumed so many of her peers. She may have faced scandal, but she never lost her place as one of country's most revered voices. Next on the list is Lynn Anderson.
But what would it matter?
Best known for her crossover hit, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, Lynn Anderson was a star whose personal life often mirrored the drama of her music. Married twice, Lynn's love life was punctuated by turbulent relationships and whispered affairs. Insiders claimed she carried on flings with fellow musicians during her marriages, while her volatile temper often made her private life explosive. Her relationship with songwriter Glenn Sutton was particularly stormy, marked by jealousy, infidelity, and bitter arguments. Their eventual divorce fueled speculation about her involvement with other men in the industry, rumors Lynn never addressed directly. Her later relationships fared no better, with gossip painting her as a woman who struggled to find stability in love. Yet, much like her iconic song, Lynn's life reflected the bittersweet balance of beauty and pain. Her personal scandals only added to the mystique of her music, turning her into a figure of both admiration and cautionary tales. Lynn Anderson's restless heart may have caused chaos, but her music ensured her immortality. Now let's turn to Tammy Cochran. Tammy Cochran emerged in the 2000s as a powerful voice in country, but her personal story tied her to the same turbulent traditions of love and heartbreak as the legends before her. Married and divorced, Tammy's relationships often unraveled under public scrutiny, with whispers of affairs haunting her career. Insiders suggested she had a pattern of falling into passionate, fast-moving relationships that burned out just as quickly. Friends described her as someone who loved deeply but recklessly, often overlooking red flags in the pursuit of romance. Nashville gossip claimed she was linked to married men in the industry, though nothing was ever publicly confirmed. These whispers painted her as a modern reflection of the old country scandals, proving that the hunger for love never disappeared from the genre. Though her career never reached the heights of Dolly or Tammy, Her personal struggles with love tied her to a long line of country women who lived and loved boldly, no matter the consequences. Moving along, Billie Joe Spears.
Even though he's old and a hair of turning white.
Billie Joe Spears was known for her strong-willed personality and soulful voice, but she also carried a reputation for her tumultuous romances. Married 3 times, Billie Joe often found herself caught in cycles of passion and betrayal. Rumors swirled of affairs with industry executives, suggesting that her love life sometimes intertwined with her career in ways that fueled gossip and controversy. Her second marriage, in particular, became fodder for Nashville's rumor mills, as whispers of infidelity plagued both sides. Billie Joe herself admitted to having a restless heart, and insiders claimed she sought excitement in romances outside her vows. Though she never flaunted her affairs, the persistence of the stories kept her name in circulation as one of the genre's love addicts. Billie Joe Spears may have battled scandal, but she also left behind a catalog of heartfelt songs that revealed her vulnerability. Her legacy shows that even flawed hearts can create timeless music. Continuing on, Melba Montgomery. Melba Montgomery made her name through her duets with George Jones, but her personal life carried a scandalous edge of its own. Married more than once, Melba was rumored to have been entangled in affairs with fellow musicians during her touring years. Her chemistry with George Jones fueled speculation that their partnership was more than professional, though both denied it. Still, the whispers followed them relentlessly, adding fuel to their performances together. Beyond George, Melba was linked to other industry insiders, with gossip claiming she used her romances as both escape and strategy. Friends described her as a woman who struggled to balance her desire for lasting love with the temptations of fame. Her pattern of intense but short-lived relationships gave her a reputation as a woman who couldn't resist passion, no matter the cost. Though her personal life was chaotic, Melba's contributions to country remained significant. Her ability to channel her stormy romances into music made her unforgettable. Another name you need to hear, Norma Jean. Norma Jean, often remembered as a member of the Porter Wagoner Show, was another star whose love life overshadowed her career at times. Her close relationship with Porter Wagoner fueled endless speculation, with many believing they carried on a long-term affair. The chemistry between them was undeniable, and while Norma Jean eventually left the show, the rumors never faded. Beyond Porter, Norma Jean was linked to other men in the industry, often older and more powerful figures. Some claimed she sought stability in these relationships, while others insisted she was simply addicted to the excitement of forbidden love. Whatever the truth, her reputation as a woman who lived passionately and recklessly stuck with her long after her career slowed down. Norma Jean may not have reached the same legendary status as her peers, but her story remains a vivid example of how scandal and love addiction shaped the lives of country's women. And finally, Minnie Pearl. Minnie Pearl, best known for her comedic persona and iconic howdy greeting, shocked fans with whispers of a private life very different from her stage character. While she projected innocence and humor, Nashville insiders claimed she indulged in discreet romances throughout her long career. Her position in the Grand Ole Opry gave her access to some of the biggest names in country, and gossip linked her to several married men behind the scenes. Though she carefully protected her public image, the rumors painted Minnie as someone whose hunger for affection clashed with the wholesome character she played on stage. The contradiction only made the stories more scandalous, as fans struggled to reconcile the innocent comedian with the woman whispered about in hushed tones backstage. Yet Minnie Pearl's legacy is ultimately positive. She broke barriers for women in country entertainment, brought joy to millions, and left behind a legacy of laughter, even if her personal life carried its share of scandal. Her impact on country music was nothing short of groundbreaking. Which of these wild love stories shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories from country music's hidden past. And before you go, check out the other videos on your screen. You won't want to miss them.